I'm Leah Tindale, and this is Note to Self. And welcome back to season 2. I can't believe that so much of the year has already gone by, and I haven't put out a season 2 for months and months, despite a few people really requesting it. But thanks for letting me know that you enjoyed season 1. That was nice. It's pretty wild. We're already in February, and despite my best intentions to launch at the start of the year, just has not happened. It's funny, I've been thinking as well, you might be in a similar spot. You start 2026 or start of the new year is always filled with, okay, yeah, I'm going to hit the ground running, and you've got lots of ideas. Maybe it's fitness or wellness, or I don't know, wanting to start something. Maybe you wanted to start a podcast yourself, and and all of a sudden it's February. You're like, where did this go? But I remember at the beginning of the year, everyone was doing the 2025 recaps and looking at the year that was. And then there was all this, I don't know if you felt this, it felt like there was more of a push than ever to be so grateful for the year that was, or showcase that you were living your best life somehow and projecting out into this year. But I felt so repulsed by it. So much so it kind of wanted me to be I don't want to do anything in January. I don't want to start anything. And maybe that's just me hedging my bets, being well, if I don't start in January, I can't fail. So if I start in February, can't fail. Anyway, I don't know. There's some strange method to my madness. But here we are anyway. We have launched. If you are watching the video, I'm in my car. And basically that's come about because I was thinking, all right, I really want a studio for season 2. I really want better lighting. I really want to have guests lined up and all these things. And it just kept being pushing things back and back and back and not happening. And so then I had this idea that I'm just going to do it in the car. Well, for this episode anyway, because we have to stop. And by we, I mean me, waiting for things to be perfect, right? It's so hard to just start anyway. So let's just give it a go. It's not going to be perfect. This is probably more rough than it was when I launched last year. I had much more of a nice aesthetic, but I've launched now season 2 in a really rough way. And that's what I really want this season to be all about. There's still going to be lots of similar stuff that people are really enjoying from last season, like people's notes to self that they're sitting with at the moment. They're still going to be around. This season's going to be a little bit different because you're going to hear more from me, and it's going to be more of this direct me to you, just having a little chat, sharing my thoughts. The reality is this year is for me 2 things. First of all, the year of shooting your shot. That's something that's come up a lot over the last couple of months. Just giving things a go, reaching out. The worst that can happen is you get a no, it doesn't happen, things sort of fall over. But at least you can go, well, I gave it a go. And the other thing is that I feel finally, for the first time in my life, quite embodied in my own skin. For some of you who might know me outside in the real world, maybe that seems a bizarre statement. Maybe I've always seemed that way to you, but I feel like I have taken a long time to find out who Leah Tindale is. And I came across this sentence after I sort of separated from my ex-husband and went through the divorce, and then went through on a journey of all sorts of self-discovery. As I was coming back to myself, I wrote in my journal quite a few times whenever I was feeling unsure that I am Leah fucking Tindale. I don't usually swear, I'm not a swearer, but there was something so empowering and just, yes, come on, by putting fucking in between my first and my last name. And maybe you're a people pleaser like me. Maybe you're historically someone who becomes a bit of a doormat, but having that as an ethos in your head of whatever your name is, and maybe swearing doesn't work for you, but maybe there's something similar that can help you be no, this is who I am, and I'm going to take up space in this way. And so I really feel like some things have locked into place for me to really show up and turn up finally as the full embodiment of Leah fucking Tindale. And she does swear sometimes, which is wild because growing up, I never swore. I thought that God would, I don't know, strike me down or something if I did. And I was always quite pious and spiritually self-righteous, the fact that I never swore. And so adding it in is like this whole ironic, freeing, and just really claiming some ground of who I am, which is exciting. And it's exciting for this podcast because ultimately we are learning from so many people. You learn from people all the time about their notes of encouragement, notes that they're finding really helpful for themselves. But we have to start backing ourselves. We have to start being like, no, hang on, I know what I'm doing. And that's one of the things that I really took away from Note to Self last season. And if you haven't, watched any of the previous ones, please, I encourage you to go through and check it out. Tell me what you think. There was a lot of people saying to me and afterwards as well, being like, it's funny that you're doing a podcast where you're asking for advice, because in their eyes, they see me as someone who actually knows a lot more and has got more things together than I give myself credit for. So first of all, that was very nice, but also learning to actually trust myself now and to lean on that and lean into that. Something else that I've been really personally inspired by recently is I've been listening to some other podcasts talking about the reasons we don't start things. We always find an out, but ultimately it comes back down to us. And I think it's scarier to put the blame on yourself than to say, oh, well, I never had a studio, or I never knew how, or I never had the right lighting, or I never had the right connections or whatever, than to really go, actually, the reason I didn't start is because I just didn't start. And maybe that's because of fear. Maybe that's because of pride. Maybe because you're actually really exhausted. Like, let's take a beat for just being exhausted, but still feeling the pressure that we need to perform and create and do these side hustles. And I'm learning from this, like even the delay of starting this podcast, is because I'm so exhausted. My health has been weird, very, very weird. We can unpack that in a later episode. But to take that pressure off and be like, okay, yeah, I haven't started, not because, I never achieved anything, because I just never did it because of whatever that factor was. And you have to be okay with it. And the other big thing is the reality is about fear. Let's just take a beat and talk about the reality of being scared to do something. I have an email drafted on my laptop at the moment to someone within the world of media, just reaching out for coffee, an introduction, because it's something that I want to do. And this email is not even anything crazy. It is literally like, I'd love to have coffee. I'd love to pick your brain, like all that kind of stuff. I'm not asking for much. It's still sitting there. It's been sitting in my inbox for, I think, a week now. And I often open my emails and I see the drafts and I'm like, oh, not today. And the reality is, I can make lots of excuses, but I'm scared to send that email. I'm scared more so, not like the no is one thing. The no is like, okay, cool, I got rejected. Like you can almost deal with that. But it's the what if they say yes? Then I have to deliver on something that I'm hoping I'm good at, that I think I can do, but I don't know yet. And I don't know until they say yes, and then I'm out there doing it. And I'm so terrified because it's quite out of my comfort zone. It's something that I used to do many years ago, but I haven't for a long time. And maybe this is similar to you. Maybe you're like a mum and you've out of work for a really long time and you're taking that leap again. And you're like, can I even do that? Can I, do I have what it's take? Like, what if they say yes, I go and do the thing, I do the job, and they go, oh my goodness, you are terrible. And that is so much worse than if they just said no in the first place. That would be fine, move on. Anyway, so as a result, that fear has crippled me, and so that email is still sitting there. So I'm going to let you know a bit of an accountability when I send that email, and we can go on the journey and see what happens. And maybe you can do something too. maybe you can send an email. Or I don't know, maybe you're really scared of wearing red. I don't you're like, maybe that for you is like seems like a really big deal. I will send the email before the 5th episode. That gives me some time to pander to my fear. And you can come with me too, so you've got some time. So that's 5 weeks, 1 episode a week, 5 weeks, and in 5 weeks, I want you to do the thing as well. Let's do it together. Ah, I'm scared now. What have I done? No, it's good. It is good. But we've got to be honest with ourselves, like we come up with so much excuses when we can be unstoppable in whatever way we want that to be. Maybe it is just wearing red. And I would love to wear more red. Maybe I should do that too. What a great idea. Maybe that was my inner self coming out being there, like, you need to wear red. All right. All that being said, that is really what this podcast is going to be like this season. It's going to be taking one small step at a time each time we chat together, by myself, with guests, and becoming more fully us. And I hope that as we glean notes to self from each other, from the guests, from my own noggin, that you can come on the journey, that you can become the full essence of yourself, the one that is unapologetic, the one that is vibrant. And you might be listening being like, oh, I've got no vibrancy left. I am a little flat dull potato. And I just want to tell you that you are a bright spark. And people need to see your essence. People need to see your light, because only you can do the things that you are created to do. And I believe that. I'm so sick of seeing people not live up to their full potential in myself. I think that's why it frustrates me the most, because I also am the same. But the moments when I get to be confident enough to see myself fully and to accept my light, they've been the most beautiful and wonderful moments in my life. And I hope that this year you get to do that as well, whatever that looks like for you. And yeah, let's become our full selves together, not in a way that's like pushing each other or striving, but really in a way that encourages rest, that encourages truth. So let's get that sparkle out, hey? So I really hope you come with me on the journey. This whole season is about me learning how to take up my own space, and it'll be imperfect. It'll be honest. It'll be sitting in a car I'm in the driveway. I'm not even anywhere cool. If that's you, if that's where you're at this year as well, then just want to let you know that there's space for you here. And I can't wait to hear from you and to build this community of people just showing up for themselves and just really seizing this year and living a really beautiful life in the way that you want. I'm Leah Tindale, and this is Note to Self.